It's time to talk business once again. Welcome to the Business B.E.A.R podcast, hosted by your favorite and the voice of Garrett County, Connor Norman. In this show, we talk about economic development in our community, but what does that mean? We profile businesses by bringing them on the show so they can tell us what they're all about. We do educational pieces on how to start, run, and expand a business in Garrett County, and we talk about businesses and commerce events in the area. If you're listening and want to be featured on the show, give me a call or shoot me an email. It's absolutely free, and I'd love to have you in here. My number is 301-334-7281, and the email is cnorman@garrettcounty.org. That number again, 301-334-7281, or email cnorman@garrettcounty.org. A quick note before we dive into today's episode: the opinions or views shared by the host or the guests on this program do not reflect that of Garrett County government or Garrett County business development. Earlier, you heard me talk about partners, and we have brought one of our favorites in today. That's right, the Garrett County Chamber of Commerce. In Business 101, you learn that it's always a good idea to join and be a part of your local economic development associations and organizations. And one such powerhouse in the community is always its Chamber of Commerce, defined as an organization of credible businesses that strive collectively to ensure an economic viability and prosperity of a community. We'll hear all about it from the professionals that get it done right here at home. Our Chamber of Commerce President, Andrew Fike, and Chamber Membership Manager, Nick Sharp's with us today. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
Great.
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
All right, let's kick it off. Tell me about yourselves and your role with the Chamber. Andrew, let's start with you.
I'm the president of the Chamber of Commerce. I started out 4 years ago when I was elected to the board of directors for the Chamber of Commerce. I spent 2 years on that. The last 2 years I was chair of the board of directors, and then recently I was asked to be president, and that's my current role.
Fantastic. Nick?
I've been the membership development manager more or less for the past 8 years. This was my first job out of college, and there's nowhere else I'd rather be.
Fantastic. So we heard a little bit about your positions. Let's break you guys down a little bit. Now, Andrew, you've been a business owner in this community for a short time. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, so my business career here in Garrett County would have started back in 1980, Beachy Lumber Company. I spent 15 years there, sold out my position, bought Fox's Pizza, which actually used to be down across the railroad station.
Really?
Then I bought the property where it is now over on 3rd Street, relocated over there, and then the winter of '96, I purchased the Oakmar Motel and Restaurant. I ran that for nearly 27 years. During that process, I also had the Oakland Motel for 12 years, and I had rentals in county for 40 years. So I do come, I bring a business flavor to the whole conversation.
Fantastic. That's wonderful to hear. Now, Nick, I understand you're homegrown too.
Homegrown, class of 2010, Southern Rams, go Rams. Oakland, Maryland for almost all my life. Went to college in Pittsburgh, but otherwise I've been here, and this is home.
Fantastic. You've had the misfortune of being my friend for most of that time too. Also went to college with Nick in Pittsburgh. It was a fun time, wasn't it?
It was a great time. We can't talk about any of that on the podcast.
No. We can't. That would be a whole episode itself, and not for this format, for sure. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for that introduction. It's good to know you guys. Good to let our listeners know who's behind their Chamber of Commerce. So let's talk about the Garrett County Chamber of Commerce. What is a chamber? Tell me all about it.
I think that's always a good question. What's the chamber? And for me, when I look at it, to me, it boils down to connectivity. What a great way to, with all of our events we have, like the Business Before Hours, the Lunch and Learns, which Nick takes care of those, and I'll let him talk about that. The Business After Hours, our banquets, it's just about connecting business owners to business owners, and that because it's such a great thing for the whole community, to just be connected through these events.
Yeah.
Share business ideas, and sometimes share frustrations. But for us going through COVID, I think the chamber really shined as far as working with the legislative committees and trying to work with county government, getting information out, and that's a lot of what we are now.
Excellent. So this is kind of like a whole spectrum of just networking, advocacy, all these things that you can add to a business if they're part of the membership, correct?
Absolutely. I think that the one thing that I think is helpful for a lot of people is that we have a legislative committee, which Steve Green is the chair of that, and Holly Lane from the business office helps with that. And they work with Mike O'Halloran, our lobbyist. And so I think each year it looks about 3,000 bills are introduced statewide, in the state house, I should say. And then these people try to boil it down to maybe 30 that we think we can get some traction on.
That's an important thing. Sometimes when these bills are introduced, like you just said, 3,000, it's hard for any one individual or one business on top of everything you're doing to keep track of all this legislation. What's the stuff coming down the pike that's going to affect me, my business, my family? So it's nice to kind of have an advocate down there that our chamber's taking care of, watching to make sure that, what's coming down the pike on that end is beneficial to our businesses here. Now we know a little bit about what a chamber is generally. Let's drill a little bit down into it. Nick, I'm going to put this one to you. You're the membership manager. You're the guy behind people signing up. Why should somebody join a Chamber of Commerce?
So there are 5 primary reasons why a business decides to join the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
I'm going to try and do all 5 off the top of my head.
Good, do it. Long-winded answers. I want to hear them all.
Networking and promotion. That's a big one. Cost savings, community involvement, education, and business advocacy. There we go. So those are the 5, and we have programming in all 5 of those areas. And everybody that's involved with the chamber, we've got around 500 members. And while they might not join for all 5 reasons, I would guarantee that everybody joined for at least one of those 5. And so, that's a lot of different areas that we have to cover, and but that's what we're there for.
Nice. So if we drill down in those 5 things.
Yeah, so one of the easiest to show what the chamber has to offer is the networking and promotions. Andrew's already talked a little bit about some of that, but we have plenty of networking events. We have our business after hours, we have our business before hours, we have lunch and learn. We have the Autumn Glory kickoff reception and dinner, and the annual dinner. Networking and promotion is a big deal, especially if you're a small business and just getting started out, or a business professional trying to get their feet wet. And so we want to get the word out. We've got a lot of great small businesses here in Garrett County, and some great medium and large businesses too. And we just want people to know, they're here, and we offer different sorts of programming. We have the business directory on visitdeepcreek.com, where all chamber members have member listings with contact information about the business, and we've got a really active website, and we help boost that out there so that we can put you in touch with not just each other, but your customers as well.
Nice. So speaking of that website, it's kind of a big deal. How much traffic does that thing get?
I can't give you the numbers myself. Sarah Duck is our Vice President of Tourism and Marketing, and she handles the website. It is a award-winning website. In the past couple of years, it actually just got a remodel that we were really excited about. But it gets a lot of traction, and she's a genius when it comes to search engine optimization. A lot of times, even just having a member listing will boost you so far up in the Google ranks that you'll be the first person, the first business or organization that people find when they type in those keywords. So it's a big deal. The business directory is a big deal. And on the website, we also have the events calendar, which is another big deal as well. And all of our members are able to put their events on the calendar and get that out to a much wider audience than they might otherwise have.
I can tell you, half the time when I'm Googling a certain business, you guys are so on it that usually the Chamber's website or visitdeepcreek.com is the first thing that pops up. So hats off to you guys for that. Search engine optimization is an important thing. We actually, a few episodes back, if you guys go and listen to the SoulNet episode, sorry, it's shameless self-promotion.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug for our Business B.E.A.R podcast. Go back and check out that episode, learn a little more about that, where they break it down. But it's an important thing for businesses, and you guys are doing that, advocating for your members. What a fantastic opportunity. So it sounds like you get a lot if you sign up to become a member of the Garrett County Chamber of Commerce. what does it cost? What's the process? Run me A to Z through becoming a member of the chamber.
Sure. So we've got different levels because we realize that not one size shoe fits all. So we have the three basic tiers, which are Classic, Premier, and Elite. And Classic is $250 a year for an in-county business. We also allow out-of-county businesses to join the chamber, but we do have separate pricing for those, just to be fair and give our in-county businesses the edge, which is what we're here for. We have Premier level membership, which is $395 a year, and then we have Elite, which is $695. Elite is more of a corporate level membership.
Okay.
So if you have a lot of employees that come to a lot of events, the big deal with Elite is that you get complimentary tickets to our events. You also get complimentary tickets with our Premier level membership, but not quite as many. The big difference between Classic, Premier, and Elite is the enhanced listing on visitdeepcreek.com that comes with Premier and Elite. You get basically a fancier member listing. You can put pictures on there, longer business description. You can offer hot deal coupons. So if you're running any specials, the hot deals is one of the most active pages of our website, along with the events calendar. But really, Classic works great for most businesses, and you're not missing anything out if you have a Classic level membership. We want to make sure that from small to big businesses we can help everybody out, and so a lot of the time I'll try to get people started out at the Classic level because I don't want them to put too much in and not get enough out of it. So we can always upgrade, but it's easier than trying out membership and then deciding it's not for you because you spent too much the first year. We have a application on our website. You can just click to join and you enter all your information, and that information will be used to populate your member listing. And that's also how we'll get in contact with you for invitations to different events, different opportunities we have for advertising, that sort of thing. What I didn't mention is we also, just the past couple years, we started an associate level membership, which is really more for retired people, individuals, people who aren't necessarily associated with a business, but still want to be involved with the chamber. So you'll get our communications, you'll get our invites to different things.
Okay.
There's a discount to attend those things if you have that level membership. It's just $100. It's a way to be involved in the community without necessarily being tied down to a business, and that came at the request of some of our members who were very active and then retired, of course, and moved on. But we still wanted them to be involved, and they still wanted to be involved, so we included them in that.
That proves you guys are dynamic. You're hearing what your members have to say. You're making changes for it. So I think it's fair to say that anybody can benefit from the chamber. If they put some investment into it, it's going to pay back, isn't it?
I like to think so. There's, like I said, there's 5 different ways, or 5 different reasons, that people join a chamber. And because we hit all those things, we do have something for everybody. And, it's the more you put into your chamber membership, the more you get out of it. But of course, a lot of people are busy, as we talked about with the legislative. Not everybody has time to track the 3,000 bills. Not everybody has time to necessarily be involved in the chamber. So we have things that benefit you whether or not you're active. But of course, if you're showing up to events, taking advantage of our networking opportunities, you are going to get further than if you don't. One of my favorite networking stories, we have a crisis cleanup company. I won't name names, but we have a representative from one of those businesses in the area, and the amount of business that he's got because he goes to each business after hours and he gives out his business cards, and he makes a circuit of the entire place, and if he sees anyone that he's not met before, he makes sure that they get a business card and an introduction. And I've heard from at least 3 different businesses that have had fire cleanup, sprinkler cleanup, and he's gotten a call because of that. And that's you do business with people you know.
And I will say, if you don't know him, you will get to know him. I know exactly who you're talking about right now, and I don't even have to think about it. So yeah, just the power of networking. It's an important thing.
That connectivity is such a big thing. And excuse me, the other thing we have nonprofit status too now. So we have a discounted membership for
Oh, excellent.
nonprofit organizations.
Andrew, tell me a little bit about these events that you guys hold. These business before hours, these business after hours, these annual dinners, autumn glory kickoffs. Why are these important?
When we had our recent annual dinner, we had that at the Rodak Banquet Hall. That was what I was able to share that evening. As I talked to people, I felt a couple of key things were, like, we have a buying program through Premier Power, for example. Last year I sold my motel and restaurant to a young man in town. Through that process, we just didn't get him hooked over onto Premier Power's discount buying program. He gets his first full months of electric bill. He calls me up and says, "Hey man, there's a big problem here. My electric bill's not anywhere near what you talked about." I said, "Well, let me get my bills. I'll come down. We'll talk about it." Get down. I said, "Right there it is." I said, "You're not in the Premier electric buying program." So he makes a couple calls, a couple emails. He's hooked up. Then the next time he gets his first full month of bill for the motel and restaurant, true as it can be, he saved enough money in that 1 month to pay for 5 years of chamber membership.
Wow.
So anyone out there is a heavy user of electric, it's a big deal. There's other buying programs we have. So yeah, that's just a little bit of that. But like in the last couple of business before hours, we had the legislative wrap up. That was a kind of a neat thing. Senator McKay came, Delegate Heimball spoke. And then the last one we had was for the county commissioners, gave a wrap up.
Okay.
Legislative wrap up. So those are 4 times a year, Nick, something like that.
Well, we have 3 business business before hours.
We have 3 business 4 hours, and there's a number of lunch and learns. And I do want to highlight lunch and learn that these are Nick's deals, lunch and learns. And I'm telling you, the last one was on branding. Kendall Ludwig came, Curly Red, she spoke, talked about the power of branding. And then one before that was Russ Dijak, who sold that you had to hear. And I'm telling you, and I really mean this, I say it all the time. He talked about internet advertising, and I'm going to tell you, at the $250 level to join, I said it at our banquet, I'm going to say it here today, it was worth $250 to sit there and listen to what he had to say.
Wow.
I was amped up thinking, holy cow. And this is local. I mean, just all the algorithms, and I can't even say these words, but this guy was awesome. Russ and them do a wonderful job. In the business after hours, personally, they're my favorite. It's just low key. If you're a member of the chamber, it's $10. You get snacks, you get 2 drink tickets. If you're a non-member, it's $15. The last one was right here last week downtown with Goba. Had over 100 people there. One before that was M&T Bank. We try to spread those around.
Yeah.
If I can, plug. So on September 14th, our next one will be at Beitzel's down towards Grantsville. So we do try to spread those around. But those are nice. And then our big fall thing, Autumn Glory Kickoff, that's really a fun one. It's a little dressier. Everyone gets to dress up a little bit. There's you yourself get to auction off a nice print to raise some funds for it. We appreciate that.
That's what everyone comes for.
Yeah,
everyone,
the auction.
Everyone comes for the music
Yeah.
and the entertainment.
Well, it is an honor to an honor. But sincerely, those banquets are pretty nice. They're really relaxed, and you just get to see people you don't normally see. But I just know that there was my son works down here at Bill's Marine, and they had some questions last year with something, and I was able to make the connection with Kevin Nall, and that was very helpful to both parties, really. So
Yeah.
again, I'm going to beat on connectivity all day long. It's just an opportunity to meet people that, oh, that's who that is, and that's why they do that.
It's tremendous to hear about these networking events. I always enjoy them. It's a great way for me to help connect with the business community. And you guys have been such great partners at helping to facilitate businesses with their questions, connecting them with the right resource partners. I mean, you guys are phenomenal with your communication, and that's important to a cohesive team, a cohesive economic development effort, which you guys are a great cog in. So thank you so much for that stuff, guys. I really appreciate it. Let's gear back and talk a little bit about that Premier Power thing and one of the buying benefits of the chamber. Are there additional benefits that somebody can take advantage of if they're a member?
Yeah, so the Premier Power is our big one. Every year it saves the members who participate around $400,000 collectively, which is
Huge.
That's huge. That's no small thing.
Yeah.
So that's our big one, and that's been that's been around for more than 15 years. Everyone who participates in that gets a lot out of it. They sign up every year. The contract runs out, they renew, no problem.
Now, does a business have to be a certain size to take advantage of that?
No, it does not. Unfortunately, Premier Power doesn't do residential, but if you have a commercial business, they can hook you up. I wish they did do residential because I would love to take take advantage of that
I'd be on
myself.
that.
But no, it's what they'll do is they'll do a market analysis and they'll tell you if they can save you money or not. And there's no obligation. They'll do, like I said, they'll do the analysis, but there's no obligation for you to sign up if you decide you'd rather not save money. But if you do decide to sign up, then you'll lock yourself in for a contract at the rate that they can offer you, and then once that contract's up, they'll offer you to renew or to go look for it elsewhere. We've never, in the entire time that I've been working at the chamber, I've never heard a single complaint about the program. I've only heard stories like Andrew's here, positive stories. It helps. Every little bit helps when you're a small business owner.
Absolutely. And when you consider belt tightening years and when things and prices start going up, saving every dollar really matters.
Yeah, absolutely. And because of that, we do have some other programs. We've been working with Office Depot for years. We have a nice program through them where you can order online for your office supplies, break room supplies. That also comes with a store card. So if you feel like traveling a little ways, you can visit the nearest Office Depot and take your store card in and use that there.
Where's that? Morgantown?
I think it's LaVale.
LaVale? Morgantown?
Around that. Not here, unfortunately.
Although Office Depot, you want to come here, we're happy to have you.
Yes, yeah. I think Office Depot should open up.
They should open up a
here.
Garrett County store.
Yeah.
Well, we know who to put you in touch with.
I happen to know a guy that will really make it easy for you to come.
Unfortunately, not as many people take advantage of that as should, because they do have some really steep discounts, especially on technology items, which it's difficult to get a discount on, and they've got some good offers for our members. We also have the Constant Contact email marketing discount. So we use Constant Contact for our eFlash newsletter that goes out every Monday and our What's Happening email that goes out every Tuesday. And Constant Contact is really easy to use. In fact, we don't even take advantage of all the different bells and whistles that it has on offer. You can do surveys with it. You can do all sorts of things. But it's really easy to put together a nice looking email. And if you're a business, you should be collecting your customers' emails and keeping in touch with them. And Constant Contact is a great way to do that. Our members can get either 20% off if they prepay for 6 months in advance, or 25% off if they prepay for 12 months in advance. And knocking a quarter off of that is, that's pretty nice. And then lastly, as far as cost savings programs go, we have our chamber trips, which we just started up again. We're really excited about this, but we have a trip to Spotlight on Tuscany coming up in 2024.
Oh, nice.
September 2024. And then we have a trip to Costa Rica coming up in spring of 2025. And that's through Colette Travels. We've worked with them before. We were going to put together a Peru trip that there was a lot of interest behind, there was a lot of excitement about, and then COVID hit, and we haven't had a trip since. But Colette was great to work with. Even though the trip didn't actually happen, they took care of our travelers, which was the most important thing. And they got their refunds, and everybody left happy. And it's unfortunate they didn't get to go to Peru, but I really appreciated how Colette handled things, and that's why when I spoke to Andrew and we decided to start up the chamber trip program again, there was no one else I wanted to work with other than Colette. And so I think that these two trips, we met with a representative last month, and he discussed some of our options with us. And Andrew, why don't you explain why we were so excited about Tuscany, especially?
Well, everyone wants to go to Italy. What a great place! I tell you what I'm very excited about the Italy trip, Spotlight on Tuscany. It's what we're going to call land cruising. You're actually going to stay in the same hotel every single night, and you go a different excursion each day. The beautiful part of that is if you're tired and say, hey, you know what, I just want to hang here today, you don't have to go and do that particular excursion. And there's a number of days where you'll have a choice of 2 different excursions to choose from. So Paul, the representative, was here. I just thought it was fabulous. You know, there's Nick put together. I think there's 17 or 18 people there. We recorded for another 7 or 8, and there's been other interest expressed. So there's just a big excitement for European travel. Is pretty hot right now. And when Nick brought this idea to me, I thought, you know, what a great way to offer back to the members. And here's the thing: you don't have to be a chamber member to participate in this. You can be anyone from anywhere. You can live in Florida and hear about it. Wherever it is you're from, you don't have to have an affiliation with the chamber. You can still join. One thing they do offer that I just think we have to let everyone know is with Colette, their insurance policy that they have is, he calls it bad hair day. So if you wake up and it's the day you're supposed to travel and your hair looks bad and you say, you know what, I don't want to take this trip, you just cancel. So you don't have to have a doctor's excuse and things. So I really think Colette is a pretty premier travel company to work with. And this guy's been solid, just nice as can be. But the Tuscany trip is so many. There's wineries to go to, there's some cheese making places, and it's just some wonderful meals, and it really looks fantastic. I'm very appreciative of Nick making this connection and making this decision. And then Costa Rica will be the March of 25, and it too is 8 or 9 days. And let me go back, the Tuscany thing, and as far as the other Costa Rica, they have extensions. You can add 2 or 3 days in the front, 2 or 3 days in the back.
Oh, wow.
It's highly customizable. So, you know, I don't remember all the specific details, but they're there. So if you want to make that thing into a 15-day trip, you can do it. I think the trip itself is about 9 days, if I remember right.
Yep.
It's incredibly affordable too, as I understand. Now, do you get a discount if you're a member of the chamber?
This time around, getting the program going again, we're just doing one flat rate. For this, we're considering all of Garrett County, and even outside of Garrett County, a member. One flat rate to join and to go on this trip. We want to get the program up and running again, and we're hoping that folks will join us. One thing that is really exciting about going through Colette is that we also have hometown pickup. So they will send a bus to come pick up the travelers for the trip at the visitor center.
Oh,
and
nice.
You'll start your trip there. You'll get to meet the other people you're traveling with, and that way you don't have to worry about driving to Pittsburgh. You don't have to worry about your car sitting in a lot for a week. Nice and easy and carefree.
Great. I think we need to convince the commissioners or my bosses here in economic development that it would be an important thing for me to go to Tuscany with you guys to make sure that
Check out Italian businesses and bring back great
they
ideas.
have
economy there.
Exactly. Tie our 2 economies together. I think it'd be an important thing. So, all right, I'll put that buzz in. I'll say you guys came up with
Highly
the idea.
endorse that.
Yes.
Perfect. So, are there any additional benefits that come out of being a member?
Yeah, another feature, Connor, at the I'd like to let everyone know is we have a really nice boardroom at the chamber, and if you're a member of the chamber, it's free to use. It's a Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. It just your meeting needs to happen while we're open for business. And then if you're a non-chamber member for a small fee, you can actually rent our boardroom. And actually, out in our lobby, we have a pretty spacious area there that is rented by the month. So you would talk with, I believe, Holly Lane, and she would help guide you with which months are available and the pricing for that. So that's another thing we offer. And something, Connor, I would like to put out there is I know we're a member organization, but we are housed within the visitor center at Deep Creek Lake.
Yeah.
So I would just like to say that one thing that's happened in the last couple of months is that now if you would happen to come in and your 4-H group, your church group, your civic organization, whatever it is, has some kind of a fundraiser or has some kind of activity happening, you can actually bring that to the chamber now, and we have its own separate bulletin board where it's highlighted. That just didn't happen.
Fantastic.
For all the years that didn't happen until we just made that change recently. So we have our, right to the front door, we have a couple bulletin boards that are spotlighted for our members as such, that they should be there. But then we have made other areas there for bulletin board for civic activities and things of that nature. So we're happy to announce that. So if everyone's listening, has a flyer they want to drop off, just bring it in and we'll get it up for you.
And I better get this plug in while we're talking about the visitor center, or else our tourism specialist might be cross with me. But if you are a member, please bring in your brochures and rack cards so that we can put them up on the racks. We give those out to people that come in, and our tourism specialists are always hounding us to get more of those in there. So if you're listening to this and you are a member, please drop them off or let us know. I'll come pick them up and get the tourism specialists off my back about that.
Well, one thing I'd like to add about that, Nick, I'm glad you brought that up. Another point is, when I had the motel for so many years, people come here, don't have cell service. That's just how it is. And then people come into the chamber, and they would ask for this or that. And that's why those rack cards in person make a big deal, because so many people come to Sprint, Verizon, whatever it is, it just doesn't work in our area. So now they have to have tangible in their hand they can look at. So the rack cards, any type of promotional ideas you want us to put up for you, just bring them to us. It is very helpful.
Well, and it's nice. You have a knowledgeable staff there, the tourism specialists that can pair you with the right service or the right business that you need.
I don't think anybody in the county knows more about the county than our tourism specialists. They are a wealth of knowledge. And
every time I'm going in there, I'm learning something.
I'm telling you, it's the same way with me. The other day I was telling someone, "Oh, that's not right. Here's what it is." Like, okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, you don't have to take my word. Go to the tourism specialist to find out exactly what the word is.
They're wonderful.
Now, our chamber is a little unique. So, typically in a community, a tourism bureau will be held through its economic development department. But Garrett County is a little special. Our Garrett County chamber actually hosts our tourism bureau. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. Like you said, I think we're the only county in the state that actually has a tourism board sitting underneath of Chamber of Commerce. So it's a unique thing for us. And but when we asked earlier, it was brought up. What's our following? I did happen to look on Deep Creek Lake, one of our websites the other day, and I saw that there's 119,000 followers. That's a big number. But this week, Sarah will give us our marketing plan for the year. That's where she lays out advertising, and she'll sit there and give us information that I don't understand. It's exciting. It's the one thing you want to hear if you have any interest in tourism. Mm-hmm. But I made a comment one time at the motel. I worked Friday nights forever, and people would come in. I'd always say, "Hey, where are you from?" And I kept hearing more and more about like Columbus, Ohio. So I just happened to be in a chamber meeting one day, and I'm like, who comes here from Columbus, Ohio? And Sarah speaks up and goes, "Oh, I've been putting ads out there the last year and a half." And you're like, snap. But no, she has an intricate plan of whereabouts in Northern Virginia, different areas. And sometimes her marketing plan can be so detailed. So like some state monies, we have to spend that money, say 50 miles away from our borders or further. Some of them may be 100 miles. So it's a very complicated thing that she has really honed in and done such a great job. But sometimes when people ask about promoting their own county and so forth, the actual work of the tourism is to drive people from afar to here.
Yeah.
That's actually the whole purpose of tourism. But we have heard that in the last couple of years. With the heritage area, it's something we've had it several years. But the heritage area brings a whole new level of tourism to our county. And actually the focus of heritage area is really economic development. It's to try to get people from afar to come here, fall in love with the place, and then want to do businesses here. So and just last week, you were there at the Mountain Lake Park ticket booth. Holy cow. If anyone's listening, you really need to go see the ticket booth at Mountain Lake Park.
Yes, it is fantastic.
It's what it really is, a small museum, and I'm here to tell you, that's like a world-class museum right here. The Stutzmans and everyone else involved did such a wonderful job. But tourism is really what we're big on at the chamber. That a lot of our time and energy and manpower is actually spent on tourism.
Yeah, you guys do a phenomenal job, and you're endorsing the entire county, correct?
Oh, absolutely. So a couple of years ago, Nick, when I became board chair, Nick came to me and said, "Hey, can we have any discussion about changing the name of the chamber itself?" The chamber is called the Deep Creek Lake Area Chamber of Commerce. And so now, after some discussion, the board quickly thought, "Man, what a great idea." And now it's called the Garrett County Chamber of Commerce, home of Deep Creek Lake.
Fantastic.
And now if you look at our vacation guide / relocation guide, maybe 1 out of 9 pictures is a picture of Deep Creek Lake. there's write-ups about every small town in there, when they were established, populations and so forth. But there's been a huge focus on encompassing the whole county. Just the other day I rode down into Friendsville dropping off information down there, and thanks to you, I was able to speak to the mayors recently, and I've had 2 mayors now contact me and say, will you come speak to our boards at some point in time? So we're just excited about just getting out there and saying, hey, the chamber really has evolved, and it's all about all of Garrett County. And we, as Nick said earlier, we do have membership from across state borders. You can be a member from anywhere. I'm just saying, we're really driving home, this Garrett County thing.
You guys have been doing a specific, full encompassing Garrett County campaign called the Small Town Trail. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this is an idea that Sarah, our VP of Tourism and Marketing, has had for years now, and she finally got to do it with the board's blessing, and it's incredible, and it encompasses every town in Garrett County. If you've been to the movie theater within the past year, you've probably actually seen a number of the Small Town Trail ads that we have up there, because like Andrew said, a lot of tourism for the chamber is getting people to come to Garrett County. But once they get here, we want them to filter out. Of course, the lake is a big draw, but we want them to filter out to the towns and see what our great towns have to offer. And the Small Town Trail highlights, what amazing towns we have and what they have to offer. And so, we've had billboards, we've got the movie theater slides, and you got a captive audience right there, and we push it out there, and
countless printed ads. I mean, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. Of course, my office here in downtown Oakland, I've gone down for lunch, and there have been people on the corner. It's been packed down there, and I said, how do you know about this? And they said, we saw the billboard. Phenomenal success, I would say.
Yes, there's billboards, there's ads on buses, metro stations, ads on the floor, you walk over. I mean, it's just, but I'm telling you, it's just inspiring to sit and listen to Sarah's whole plan and talk about her algorithms and where she's reaching out to. There's tremendous effort put into that whole program, I can tell you.
We're very fortunate here in Garrett County because we have basically the full power of a whole advertising agency packed into the chamber, and Sarah has great ideas, and what she's able to do with the budget that we get. There's people downstate that get a lot more money that will copy what we do because we're at the leading edge, and you wouldn't necessarily think that sometimes because you're not necessarily seeing the ads if you're in Garrett County because we're putting them out there, but we are at the leading edge of tourism marketing for sure.
What was it former Senator George Edwards said? The prevailing winds always blow from the west. Yeah. So if they're copying us, just joking.
Another thing I'd like to add in, Connor, is group sales. It's something that's we're going to be re-energized in that whole thing as far as I know there's a wedding guide we do, but it's just trying to bring in maybe bus tours from afar into here. Maybe setting up some soccer tournaments, just all kind of things that help fill motel rooms.
Yeah.
Put people in restaurants, but it's group sales, and we're, like I said, we're going to be working with the college on that. It's just different entities down here that want to be involved with that. So that's another step in what we're doing. It's not that we haven't done it; we have done these things. We're just being revitalized, refocused, re-energized, and all these things to get more people to come here. So it's the nice thing about being under one roof is that we're just all there. It doesn't take Nick but 10 seconds to walk down and talk to me, or I can get out and talk to Regina, or talk to Sarah. Whoever needs to talk to, it's there under one roof. We're pretty blessed to have that.
Yeah, it's a collective, concerted effort, and I think it's very efficient. You guys have been killing it lately. From afar, locally, your advertising, it really helps drive our economy here, so we appreciate that. You talked a little bit about heritage area. That's another unique thing about our chamber. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the heritage area is, the state of Maryland has identified 13 heritage areas. Ours is called Gateway to the West. That program is run by Kim Falk. And in fact, just this week, she's down at Mako, her and Sarah, promoting their things down there. But to be like Wolf Den Trail, there's, like I said, the ticket booth. But there's just areas, hiking trails, biking trails, all that stuff falls under heritage. And I tell you, Kim's finally going to be getting a full-time assistant. She's going to be able, so it's just going to expand upon her work as well. But again, the work of heritage, because I look at it as tourism, and it is tourism, but the thought behind it is to draw people to Garrett County, our part, or wherever their other 13 heritage areas are. But to get them to come, see what's happening, and then get them to put down roots and stay here and build businesses. It's an economic development. It's really the roots of what's happening.
So we talked a little bit about volunteer opportunities. Is there a way to get involved at the chamber if you're passionate about growing your business, if you're passionate about assisting the community in all of your efforts?
Yeah, so community involvement is one of the five main pillars of why someone joins the Chamber of Commerce, and we've got a number of committees for people who do have the time and want to be active and want to contribute. There's a lot going on at the Chamber, and we can't all, our staff can't handle all of it alone, and so we rely heavily on volunteers. One of our big ones is our HR Roundtable, which is a great resource for our local businesses. It's a human resources topics. We get speakers, they come in and they talk about different things that are relevant to our area businesses, things that everybody's dealing with, and there's no additional fee for that. It's a great service, and our next one coming up, it might end up being one of our most popular ever. I was checking out the registration list, and we've got a lot of people coming to this. But it is our HR Roundtable is on cannabis in the workplace and what employers should know. And we have a knowledgeable attorney coming in to discuss that. And when Maryland voted to legalize certain aspects, when Maryland voted to legalize certain amounts of cannabis use and possession, it left a lot of employers with some questions, and we want to help address those questions and help our local businesses deal with a somewhat murky subject.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. Having discussion with some of our legislators, they said in the past they've had whole days dedicated to alcohol. They're looking forward to whole days just dedicated to cannabis, and how that looks going forward, because there's so many regulations, bills, etc., that are going to have to come behind that.
And in the past, the HR Roundtable was somewhat limited as to who was able to join that and participate in that. But now we have it open to the whole membership. So if you're interested in any of the topics at all, just come on out and listen and leave a little bit the wiser for it. We also have the Marketing Roundtable, which is a great way to learn about marketing efforts in Garrett County and to promote your own business. We have workforce development because, as I know you're aware, one of the biggest complaints that we hear from our members is that there are some serious workforce shortages in the area. That's an area we're trying to address in partnership, of course, with Garrett County Business Development, with the college. We're working with the public schools as well. We have the Work Ethic Diploma Program, which is just a fantastic partnership we have with Garrett County Public Schools. Students meet criteria to earn work ethic diplomas, and they do a mock interview with our volunteers. They do drug tests. Our businesses are looking for a skilled workforce, a workforce that has certain attributes that might be lacking in the populace at times, and this is a great way to address that shortage of workers. The students that get the work ethic diploma, it guarantees them an interview with a business that is participating. Not all of our members are participating, but you can sign up to participate if you want. And the only stipulations are you have to be willing to grant an interview, which is not the same as granting a job, but if someone with a work ethic diploma wants to interview with you, then you do. And if you hire them, they do earn a higher wage. I think it's 25 cents an hour more, or 50 cents an hour more. Our project coordinator, Holly, would know that off the top of her head.
Perfect.
But it's a great program. Every year we have more and more students graduating from Northern and Southern with the work ethic diploma, which is just wonderful. We love to see it grow. And it's also open to the homeschool students of the county as well.
I know this past year, I think there was 90 students in that program. I think that's tremendous.
Wow, incredible.
We also have the Autumn Glory Committee. As you may be aware, Autumn Glory is a big deal in Garrett County, and we've run the Autumn Glory Committee for years, and it just involves the different parts of the Autumn Glory Festival that the Chamber is involved in. We work with the Greater Oakland Business Association on that, and to put together the best Autumn Glory Festival that we can. It brings in a lot of people from out of the area. It's a big economic boon to our local businesses, so it's an important thing, and we have a committee for that. Andrew's already mentioned our Legislative Affairs Committee, but it takes a special sort of person to be interested in legislation. And,
Yeah, you really got to be on top of it.
You got to enjoy that sort of thing to be involved, and you have to have a lot of patience, of course. But if that's you, then please get involved with our Legislative Affairs program. It's what helps guide the Chamber on policy issues, and it's an important committee to have. We've talked a little bit about heritage. We have a heritage area committee if you're interested in the heritage of Garrett County and want to be involved in that. And then, of course, I say my personal favorite for last, and I think your personal favorite as well, Connor.
Yeah, I might like it.
A little bit biased on this, but our Diplomats Committee, our Garrett County Diplomats Committee, which is really, I think, sort of the driving force behind the Chamber. And the volunteers who are involved in this, they come to our ribbon cuttings, they attend our events, they take new member packets to new members and help get them integrated in the larger Chamber membership. And I love our diplomats. If you're listening and you're one of our diplomats, thank you for all that you do. And if you want to be involved, the Chamber benefits from the diplomat program. The businesses that get connected via the diplomats benefit, but I think the diplomats benefit as well. It's a great way for, again, networking and getting out there and reaching new people and establishing business relationships. And I love the diplomats committee, and there's no mandatory limits for attending certain events. You don't have to attend everything. But if that sounds like something you're passionate about, if you're passionate about the business community and growing the business community, please reach out. If you're interested in any of these committees, please reach out. We'd be happy to have you serving on any of them, and we'd be happy to help point you in the right direction.
Now, do you guys do orientations? We talked about a lot today. Do you guys do any type of orientations to help new members or even current members that don't 100% know everything that's going on? Do you guys have an orientation or something 101 maybe that helps teach everybody what the Chamber can offer them?
We do. We actually have a Chamber 101 is what we call it, and we try to do those quarterly. We have a lot of from this podcast, you might know we've got a lot of different benefits, and we've just touched the surface on what all we have to offer at the Chamber. So we have a Chamber 101. It goes through all the Chamber benefits that we have on hand and all that we have to offer. Those are also a great networking opportunity themselves. It's open to new members, non-members. If you're just bored and you want to stop by, I'm more than happy to talk to you. And that's the other thing, is that if you're interested in Chamber membership, whether you're currently a member or you're a past member or you're considering joining, I am always available to talk Chamber membership. As Connor knows from our discussions outside the workplace, 90% of what I talk about is the Chamber anyway. I sort of eat, breathe, and sleep Chamber. So I'm always available by phone, by email, and I'm more than happy to discuss any of the things that you've heard today, or if you've heard anything else about the Chamber, I'd be happy to discuss that as well.
Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for coming in. It's been a fantastic interview. You guys really informed us about a lot. I think all of our listeners and our businesses that are on the horn are really going to take away something valuable here. So at the end of each episode, I kind of give all my guests an area to plug anything, do any clarifications if needed, kind of sum up what we've talked about. This is your time, guys. What do you want to say?
Well, I just want to thank you for the opportunity. Really excited that we finally got to do this, and I've had a lot of fun, and I just want to say that if you're a business or organization in Garrett County and you want to be involved with the chamber or you want to learn more about it, again, reach out to me. We'd love to have you, and we can only move forward together as a business community. We've got some events coming up that you might be interested in attending. Reach out if you're not a member, and I might have a comp ticket or two to get you set up. Andrew mentioned that our next business after hours is on September 14th at Vital Corp in Grantsville, and that'll be from 5:30 to 7:30. You can show up a little bit early if you want, because we'll be there, and it'll be just a great opportunity to see what Vital has to offer, and to network and get to know your peers better. They're always a lot of fun. And then we don't have a business after hours in October, but we do have our Autumn Glory kickoff reception and dinner, and that will be at Wisp Resort this year in the McHenry Lodge, and that'll be a really nice time. We do have an okay DJ for that, but it's great. We'll announce our Golden Ambassador Award winner for the year. We have the auction for the official Autumn Glory Festival photo for the year, and the proceeds of that will go to our Autumn Glory King and Queen. And of course, we'll just have some good food and good drinks and good company. And then we don't have any more business before hours this year, but our next Lunch and Learn will be in November, on November 14th, and that is our legislative preview and business advocacy tips with our the Chamber's lobbyist, and that'll be great. Again, if you're one of those special people that is interested in the legislative side of things, then that's for you. And if you don't like that kind of stuff, just come get a nice priced lunch and enjoy the Chamber boardroom.
Absolutely. Hey, one thing about your business after hours is next on September 14th, I got a message. I was with Sean Bender today, President of Beitzel, and he said that he's looking forward to the people being able to use their heavy equipment simulators. So I don't know what that means, but that sounds like a cool thing to me.
Yeah, if you make it out to business after hours, you might not see me because I'll be busy using this heavy equipment simulator.
Oh yeah, they're incredible. They've got machines that teach you how to use like the big backhoes and stuff like that.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing the whole time. So just don't look for me. I'll be in the simulator hooked up to the machine.
There you go.
We're going to put that on all the ads. That's all we need to sell this business after hours.
Fantastic. Connor, as we wrap up today, I'd really just like to take a moment and just say a special thank you to our business members that make things go for us down there. The one thing that you're going to continually hear me say in the future months and for probably years to come is we're all about Garrett County. It's no longer just a Deep Creek thing. There's heritage and the small town trails and all the other things that are happening. We really want to be inclusive. So the words you hear from me are inclusive. Connectivity, just get everyone connected, and I'm just so appreciative of you yourself for all what you do for us. When you go out and talk to people, I think Kim, with Kevin, it's just really been wonderful to be reconnected with the business development office here. And it's just really, I can hear our board members speak at times when they come and Kim talks about the grants available and these types of things. And I know last year I think there was a marketing grant that when Devin took advantage of that at the 3rd Street Diner. I think he was into November when he did that, and this year I understand from Kim that thing got out in like 6 days or something.
Yeah, our first round was out in 6 business days, but we were actually lucky to secure a second round, so that is currently available. A small business marketing grant up to $1,000 for any interested business.
So I think that's part of kind of what gets lost in all this is just the connection between county government and the chamber. It's really solid now. We're happy about the future. We're happy about how we all can share ideas. I know that Nick and I and yourself and Kim are going to be together at some point and be talking about some kind of a lunch and learn type of thing. So we're just happy. Again, just thank you for this opportunity. Thanks to county government, and thanks so much for the chamber membership that help us be what we are.
And thanks to our listeners.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, of which there are 100 billion.
I thought you said 200 billion.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Andrew, you've got a solid team. They're doing well under your leadership. We really appreciate all you guys do there at the Chamber of Commerce, and we look forward to talking with you soon. Guys, thanks so much for coming in. We'll see you on the other side. We really learned a lot from our partners at the Garrett County Chamber of Commerce, and we thank you for listening along. As always, for more information on future episodes, be following our social media platforms on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter at Garrett County, Maryland, Department of Business Development for more information and to keep up to date with everything business happening in Garrett County. Thanks again for listening. It's Connor Norman here, and I'll see you all on the other side.